women were coming together as a group to look at their situations and evaluate what changes they could make. It was not as an aggressive movement, but one that was always rather peaceful, with women considering how they could improve their status in life.
In the 1950s, the YWCA cafeteria was really the only cafeteria or public restaurant where black people and white people could actually meet together. It was the only non-segregated cafeteria in Cincinnati, so the YWCA became a really big meeting place.
They were committed entirely to women's rights.
By 1973, the women's movement was in full swing, and a local frontline leader began working for the YWCA. Her impact has been felt for over 40 years.
Charlene has just started zillions of programs, and these programs make a huge impact on the lives of lots of people.
She has a vision and sees what we need as women, what we need as a community.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed.
A lot of people don't realize that the YWCA was one of the founding members of the Martin Luther King Coalition, so that led to the statewide legislation to commemorate Dr. Martin Luther King with a Martin Luther King Day. Then you move up to the 90s, and the board started a racial justice committee in 1996.
Protesters, activists, and rioters were out in force.
And then everybody remembers that the civil unrest that happened here in 2001.
I demand to know why.
The YWCA started 3 Minutes of Silence, and 130 organizations joined with them. And that was to really start a conversation about racial inequalities and police-community relations. Out of the Racial Justice Committee, we ended up with the Heart-to-Heart Racial Justice Breakfast. We've had civil rights leaders. We had Fred Gray, who was actually Rosa Parks' attorney, Morris Dees with the Southern Poverty Law Center.
Human rights begin close to home.
The great thing is, it's not just a lecture, it's also a dialogue.
In 1979, we really didn't have women role models in leadership, or at least if they were in the workforce, which many were, there were not a recognition capability for their contributions. Now, the Career Women of Achievement Luncheon, which started with 400, has now reached 2,100 attendees, profiling the leaders in our community, and is one of the largest fundraisers in the entire region.
Another really exciting program that the YWCA does is the Mamie Earl Sells Scholarship, named after a really phenomenal woman who was dedicated to the YWCA.
We have students who have seen parents die, who have been homeless, who have 4.0 GPAs coming out of high school. And the ability to be able to honor them and to give them what they need to go off to college is remarkable. They'll be the next rising stars, and then they'll be the next Career Women of Achievement. So the great thing about Rising Stars is it was designed really to prepare the next generation of leaders. You're really overwhelmed by the number of amazing women, CEOs, who spend the day with you and teach you about balancing life and work, about how to assume leadership, how to negotiate within the workplace, all of these things that are so important to your development.
Rosie's Girls is a camp.
Another really great program is Rosie's Girls, and it's a program that trains young girls to learn trades in the construction industry. So again, it's breaking into an industry that's really male-dominated and getting young girls involved in that.
My name is Nancy. I've suffered from abuse for approximately 6 years. We up here represent various agencies or organizations who may be able to do something about the problem of battered women.
Charlene took the idea of domestic violence to the national YWCA, and after that, it was the YWCA across the country that started to do the shelters.
The Alice Paul House was more than just a building. It was a place where women received counseling and help in making choices for themselves. Women were given control of their lives and were helped to know that they could make the decision as to how they wanted to live. The children were involved, so we focused on the entire family who were involved in the violence. The program for the men is called the Amend program, and it involved group counseling and individual counseling. It was not a program where we were trying to get them arrested, but where we were trying to get them to realize what they were doing and make changes in how they operated.
We really needed to increase the number of women that we could hold in our shelter.
And I want to thank and congratulate your executive director, Charlene Ventura, who has continued to demonstrate extraordinary leadership.
They started out saying that we needed to raise $3.5 million, and we raised the goal to $7 million, and we actually raised $7.5 million. It was a team effort, lots of people were involved, and the most important thing was to have the whole community involved, not just a few people that gave a lot of money, but a lot of people giving little bits of money. We tripled the capacity of the shelter, probably went from 21 women and kids to 60 women and kids, and not too many years ago, we had asked for more money for a grant to raise the number to 80 women and kids, and unfortunately, we still have a waiting list.
Charlene has affected organizations and individuals. There are more people using the YWCA than ever before. Women of all economic backgrounds, all races, all religions are coming there. We celebrate women.
This remarkable list of achievements all happened under the leadership of one person who saw the possibilities for what the YWCA could become to make us a better community.
One of the great things about Charlene is that she's building leaders all around her.
Our YWCA in Cincinnati is one of the foremost YWCAs in the country, and it is because of Charlene.
Charlene's leadership will have an impact on this community forever.
The power of one can make a difference for us all.